Another issue is Ludemann is trying to psychoanalyze Paul. This is even hard to do by psychologists who have a subject in front of them. As Martin Hengel says, Ludemann does not recognize these limits on the historian. Here he gets into the realm of psychological explanations, for which no verification is really possible. Moreover, the sources are far too limited for such psychologizing analyses. There just isn't enough information to know if Paul was troubled by guilt before his conversion. All we have are letters from after his conversion, and there is no indication he was suffering from guilt and sin and projecting negative emotions onto Christians. On the contrary, we have more evidence Paul and Pharisees like him did not experience such struggles in standing against Christians. Swedish scholar Christer Stendahl says, "Contrast Paul, a very happy and successful Jew, one who can, even when he thinks about it from his Christian perspective, say in his epistle to the Philippians, 'As to the righteousness under the law, I was blameless.' That is what he says. He experiences no troubles, no problems, no qualms of conscience, no feelings of shortcomings. He is a star pupil, the student to get the $1,000 graduate scholarship in Gamaliel's seminary. Nowhere in Paul's writings is there any indication that he had any difficulties in fulfilling what he, as a Jew, understood to be the requirements of the law." And Gary Habermas and Mike Licona point out from what we know about Paul, he does not fit the profile of one who is likely to experience a conversion psychosis, as according to Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So there is no reason Paul would be a likely candidate to suffer some type of internal delusion. No evidence is given anywhere that he was in a troubled condition, and he doesn't fit the profile. And even if by some chance that he did, there is no reason it would cause a sudden conversion. This view about Paul is entirely ad hoc, implausible, lacks explanatory power, and is simply made out of thin air. The same can be said about James. As we said in the second video of this series, there is no reason the shameful execution and death of Jesus would suddenly convince his skeptical brother to proclaim him as Lord, let alone get caught up in some group ecstasy of just 500. It is more likely the death of Jesus would only continue his unbelief.